My thoughts about the elections in Germany, in Saxony and Thuringia, and the rise of the extreme right AFD, which is deemed as the modern day Nazi party, with its leaders openly mentioning Nazi terminology in rallies and having a very virulently anti-immigration and anti-foreigner policies. Now, there has been some element of the same. Why would this sort of sentiment rise up? Is it just because of the influx of Germany's immigration policies and the influx of foreigners? But if we delve a bit deeper into this topic, let us look back into the post-war Germany when Second World War ended. How many of the SS got punished, and how many of the Germans who took over the homes of the Jews in Berlin and elsewhere in every state and took over the properties and silently watched as 6 million went to the gas chambers and marched into the gas chambers, some in concentration camps in Germany and the rest in Poland, and obviously all the family members of the soldiers of the Wehrmacht who came home and talked about what was happening. How many did ultimately get punished? A very small percentage of the total who did these horrific deeds. So the rest of them got away one way or another. Their crime may be explicit or implicit. You need to look at some of the videos when Hitler marched into Austria, when the Anschluss happened, and when Sudetenland was taken from the Czechs by the Nazis, thanks to Britain and France not having, Chamberlain especially, not having any spine and forcing the Czechs to give up, which was the most strategically important part of Czechoslovakia at the time. Now, the point is, all those people, they didn't disappear overnight. All of them didn't escape to South America, Argentina, or Brazil, or other places, many, or Spain. Many of them, the more famous ones, like Scorenzi and Eichmann, the more infamous ones, and Mengele, who was never caught, but the majority stayed in Germany. The majority stayed in East Germany, where Thuringia and Saxony is, and the majority were part of the Eastern Bloc of Germany that was on the wrong side of the Berlin Wall. That majority also had many of the Stasi, with the German secret police, which had members of the SS, ex-SS members. So you can see that there's a long history of fascism in some of these areas. And so today, the fact that the AFD is so strong is not a surprise, because the roots have always been there. It just needed another time to come out at the right time. Now, it's important to put the population of these places in perspective. Thuringia has, I think, approximately 1 or 2 million people, and Saxony another 4 million, so that's about 6 million in population. Germany's total population is 83 million. So out of the 6 million, the AFD is polling 30% in both states. So still a relatively small percentage of people actually subscribes to these views. But the point is that the historical precedent to remember is at the height of when the Nazi Party was participating in elections with all the thuggery that they could bring to elections in 1932-33, only 33% of Germans voted for Hitler in elections which were not free. There was a lot of intimidation, thuggery, but there were elections nonetheless. And they failed to get a clear majority in any election that was ever done at that time in the Weimar Republic. So that was enough for democracy to be lost. So if the AFD has a 30% threshold in Germany overall, then if the other parties don't unite and fight against this fascism, then democracy could be lost in Germany also in a similar way. And so let's hope sense prevails beyond the, irrespective of what the results are in this week's provincial and local elections in the states of Saxony and Thuringia. One interesting tidbit of thought is the SS training school at Bad Tolets, where the Waffen-SS trained, was also in one of these provinces back then. So yes, the notorious history of these places is probably goes back a long way. Thank you.